So this is episode number 14 now, with Alt Peter as the DM, letting us know what happens after a long rest.
So you guys wake up. And
Grab a push a little makeup.
Exactly. So tell me what you guys do. Well, actually, let's go to Addison. So Addison, what are you doing? You've just woken up.
After doing a little bit more research and reading through the books, I bring a couple of the books with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wake up. I shifted my armor to be like pajamas.
Yep.
And then when I get up, I stretch, and then I shift it back into my armor.
Okay.
I just, stretch a little bit. And then go into my bag. I pull out the books just to make sure they're still there, just because I was thinking about them. I guess probably having like a weird sort of pseudo dream about them.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they're there, and then I just get up. I have all my stuff in my bag. I throw it over my shoulder, and I'll go down to the mess hall to have some breakfast.
Okay. Ozone, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm when I get up, I'm sort of in you could say, I don't want to say a visibly bad mood, but you can tell I'm a little grumpier than normal. Didn't have a good night.
Little lightning bolts swirling through your hair.
Yeah.
Because Ozone is never like unpleasant.
Yeah, usually, yeah. Yeah, so this is like it's pretty visible at this point. I'm wearing that on my sleeve, so to speak. But I'm not super grumpy, but yeah, definitely not in a great mood. And so yeah, I'll just get up.
I hate kind of mood.
Huh?
In a I hate Mondays kind of mood.
Yeah, it's Mondays. I got a case of the Mondays. So yeah, I'm just gonna sort of make a beeline to I guess the hall, just so I can start eating, and just like prisoner eating, like you just get the food out and then just cover just eating.
Okay, great.
I'll sit next to Addison or whatever if Addison's there. But I'm not gonna be super like, hey, how you doing? Whatever. It's just like it's mostly grunts and.
Yeah, it's perfect because I have cause do they serve you like trays with like food on it?
Yes, what's being served today is scrambled axe-beak eggs and auroch bacon.
Oh, whoa, calm down there, man. Jeez.
So I'm having that, and I'm sure I have like a little cup of like tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there, and so when he comes and like plops down and throws his tray and just starts kind of eating, I just sideways glance over like to acknowledge him, but I'm like thumbing through some of the books.
Okay, cool.
I give a grunt in response. Not a real big grunt, but I'll give a raised eyebrow, like, yeah, I acknowledge your existence.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, Daergram?
Yes?
You wake up and you roll me a percentage die and choose high or low before you roll.
Low.
You are not hungover, so you can go about your business.
That's that dwarven constitution.
Word.
Well, I definitely want to get some breakfast in me because nothing says a good night of drinking with a big ol' hearty breakfast.
It's very strange what an odd obsession this group has with food.
It really is. Every single one of you is like obsessed with eating and what's going to be served at each particular place.
What are you talking about?
I never, in my first session, I never thought to plan the fucking menu, and it just, it killed me how obsessed you were with the fucking food when there were so many people surrounding you. Fuck them. What's the food?
Exactly.
What's the food? What are they serving?
I mean, that's me in real life, so
Okay, so you're gonna go downstairs and eat as well?
Yeah, and if I see the group, I'll sit with them.
Oh, that's so nice. Look, the group is forming. Okay, so Kathixis, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna go train.
Non-stop training.
No.
he wants to be the very best.
There no one ever was. Yeah, I'm just gonna make my way down. You know, walk straight down.
Okay. And nomenclature.
I wake up like 30 minutes before they stop serving breakfast because I stayed up all night working on some sick artwork for my short story.
Okay.
And I come down and I stuff my face.
Well, so if you wake up 45 minutes later, we'll kind of like leave you. So we'll leave you be for now. So you're still sleeping.
Wake up like 3 minutes before they stop serving breakfast, and Addison is an early riser.
Yeah. So Addison, your passive perception is 17. What is yours at Ozone and Daergram?
Mine is an 11.
Mine is a 15.
Those are all pretty good. Those are all pretty good actually. So you see Kathixis walking down the wall.
Look at that.
I forget that he had that thing. I'm like, how is he doing that? Like, oh.
Well, no, your character doesn't actually know.
Yeah, I'm the
But me as a person.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the only one who would know because I was the only one who was there like when he got it.
Yeah, I have to remember to make dungeons with low ceiling.
No. What the
Or
fuck?
really, really high one.
What kind of bullshit is this?
Or me, he has to have a fight like on the ceiling, Spider-Man style.
Yeah.
So,
What kind of bullshit is this that you're, creating dungeons just for me now? Get the fuck out of here.
So, yeah. So, okay. So you see him walking down the wall. He walks the entire way down the wall, and then just as he gets to the bottom, rights himself, as if just like it was normal walking, and then walks towards you guys.
Yeah, I just look at him and I just, I make eye contact, like briefly, and just like nod, and then go back to like nibbling on a piece of bacon while I'm still reading.
Okay.
Bacon.
So you guys are just sitting here eating in silence.
I'll chat with everybody because I'm not an antisocial jerk like Mouser or anything like that.
Yeah, like Addison isn't being antisocial, but Ozone doesn't seem to be in a mood to talk. Kathixis isn't particularly chatty, and I'm not gonna say anything until the doctor says anything because from what I heard from Ozone about like your night,
Yeah.
I don't want to. I would rather you sort of like lead the way so that way I know that you're okay.
Okay, so if that's the case, so guys, I don't know if the rumor went around, but I got a buddy that needs my help, and sure, it would be really nice if you guys can just give me a hand with it,
Oh, well, I'm actually doing research into that right now.
Oh, I thought you were eating breakfast.
What's your perception?
By what?
What's your passive perception?
It's 15.
Okay, so you definitely see me reading a fucking book while I'm eating.
I don't know. It could be it could be the morning funnies.
Well, it's true. He doesn't know what book. He doesn't know what you're reading, Addison. He may
Yeah,
read a book.
Yeah, Yeah, but the thing is that yes, I'm eating breakfast, but
Is it Dilbert?
Huh?
Well, but
Is it
he doesn't
Dilbert?
know what you're researching. He knows you may be researching something. He doesn't know what you're researching.
Yeah, but it's like a whole. It's like several books on like. I'm clearly not just eating breakfast.
Let's just assume.
I would rather not assume. What's his intelligence?
Oh my god.
Yeah. What's the doctor's intelligence score?
11.
That's not as bad. That's not a bad intelligence, but it's not a great one either.
What's his wisdom?
17.
Okay, and that's typically what governs, like, like common sense.
Yeah, but I had a high night of heavy drinking, man. Give me some slack.
That's true.
It doesn't affect you in any way because you succeeded.
But you don't know that, Addison.
Well, he knows it, so he should be
Oh my god. So moving forward, so we can get past this breakfast before the next episode.
Hey, Ozone, would you be so kind to help us? Could really use your help.
Yeah, I look at the doctor. Ozone's the one who notified me of everything that was happening.
Bless him.
I grab like the map that Brunhild gave me, and just because I'm not sure that I can like trust these guys just yet with just responsibility. I'm definitely gonna say that I roughly copy.
Did someone say responsibility? What?
Huh?
Did someone say responsibility?
No, I thought it.
No.
So I give him like a rough sketch of the map from Moonvale to that lab.
Is it far? Like from the map that you're showing, does it look like it's a long trip?
Not terribly far.
Mentally.
Like Peter, it would probably just be maybe a couple of hours.
I would say not even. I would say an hour at the most.
Oh, plus I did see it through the telescope. So
You saw it through the telescope. It's fairly nearby. It's fairly nearby, and that's kind of what surprises you about the place, because all around you, where you are, is kind of like lush and gorgeous, full fey forest, and then in the middle of this fey forest is this just blighted landscape. So it doesn't really make sense. So it is nearby. And it doesn't make sense why it's in this area. As you guys are looking over this map, Addison, you will notice that Brynhild is coming down the steps, and she is wearing the most awful, heinous, floral, floor-length nightgown. As she's lumbering down the steps, scratching her crotch. She is not a morning person at all.
Yeah, I just
She's got one eye open, and she kind of she notices you, but she doesn't look happy to be awake.
Yeah, I just smirk a little bit and then go back to regarding the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Kindred spirit.
But yes, I was waiting for everyone to get here, and I figured we could discuss what our course of action would. Who was this person to you, Doctor?
It was one of the people in my village before it was destroyed. I didn't know we still had any people left, but after last night I found these guys, and they just... Well, one of his father was... Oh dear, we really should be going.
How was your village destroyed?
Marauders.
Oh.
It's also in my character's backstory if you'd like to read it.
Oh my god.
It's in the main menu. Under the diary section. Click my name.
Dr. Daergram opposed to Peter having to read it, since we're having a discussion about it currently. What was the name of your village?
Would you would your character like my backstory?
Yeah.
Since his character literally just said he would prefer that you tell him.
So, back when I was a little younger, and by a little younger I mean like just a few years actually, but I used to go from town to town and just do medical services. Well, this one time I went for a few days, a little longer than normal, and when I came back, the entire village was just destroyed and robbed, and there was nobody left.
But where is your village? You just keep saying a village. Where are you?
Hold on a second, let me read. I actually don't have that. I don't have that name.
You're from one of the what is it? You're part of your town is one of the towns that is part of the Twilight Confederation. It is in the mountain range that kind of rings the forests of the Nightlands. You can feel free to name it, because if it's a small town, we'll say if it's a small town or village, absolutely feel free to own it and name it.
Risen Bull.
Shitonia.
No, not Risen Bull.
Lior.
Dirtberg.
Oh,
We'll call it the Voya Source.
The what?
Voya Source.
Okay, fine. So that's the name of the town.
Okay.
That's the name of the town, and it's part of the Twilight Confederation. Part of their job, part of the Twilight Confederation's mission is to hold back the spread of the Venera. Moonvale is part of that confederation as well.
Oh, so you can actually know like where we are and like a lot of like the political stuff that's going on over here.
Daergram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should.
I mean, Ralph does it.
He should, but we didn't really have a session 0, so this is me kind of telling you what Daergram knows. So yeah, it's so basically the Twilight Confederation, a lot of them have made it their mission. It's largely dwarves, but there are other races that are a part of it as well. As is the Wood Elves, certain shifter colonies and tribes, in this sort of ring around the forests of the Nightlands that have made it their mission to keep the Venera out and keep watch to make sure that they don't push further into the Twilight Lands to threaten the more civilized areas.
Okay.
So it's sort of like a frontier. So
Yes.
to speak.
Cool, because I'm sure that this is also stuff that I was researching too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this is what you knew. This is what you know about the Twilight Confederation, and specifically about your small town. Your town would have been a minor mountain town, a mountain town, probably within a cave. You are a dwarf, correct?
That's right.
It would have been a town built into a cave in the mountains.
Well, hill or mountain? Hill,
I'm a
right?
hill dwarf.
Okay.
So low mountain.
Low mountain.
built into a low mountain, and it basically your town never really expected to be the target of Venera, so you were one of those places that you always felt you were protected, because you were surrounded by all these other larger...
Is this Ralph's story?
Say it again?
This is Ralph's backstory?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to hear it from the doctor.
Well, that's because Ralph doesn't know that.
He doesn't know this part because he doesn't know the history of the world.
Terrible.
Yeah, he doesn't know the history of this world, so...
Wait, why is it my fault?
It's not his fault. This is me fitting his backstory into this world. So it's me working with Ralph's backstory.
Okay, but the Marauders, they weren't exactly Marauders. It was an attack by the Venera because they're sort of like their natural enemies.
Well, you could consider them marauders because there are some Venera that are just predatory, and then there are others that are, that will ransack and burn and pillage and destroy, and that's what these Venera did to his town.
Okay.
The bastards.
So he, his particular town didn't feel the need to be very protected, to kind of beef up their defenses because they were surrounded by larger powers.
Yeah, well, such a minor little town that it was like, why would they even be a target at all?
Exactly, and that ended up being why the Venera struck there.
Gotcha.
They decimated almost the entire town. Very few people made it out. The few people who did ended up in either Moonvale. Well, some of them ended up in Moonvale, as you know now, because you ran into a few. As far as Daergram understood, his entire town was decimated. This is the first he's hearing that people have survived.
This is true story.
So now we can. So basically, this is you explaining all of this to Addison. And in this time, because this is a very long and sordid tale, Gnomenclature starts making his way down the stairs.
Cool. All right, so there's a particular pep step if anybody sees me once I get down there. I'm bright and cheery. My ravens flying around me, and I'm holding a small book.
Okay.
Oh, we finally get our level 4 stuff now, right? Because we had a long rest?
Yes.
Yep. You have a long rest.
Oh, I know.
So you have all your fancy new stuff.
You ever level yourself up in the weeks that we haven't played?
No, I just remember that we couldn't use anything that we had written down.
But
Yeah.
now you can.
Now I can.
Now you have full range of your level 4 ability. And if you guys have multi-classed into anything at this level, you now have access to it.
I'm like 4 different multi-classes.
Well, no, it's literally 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 so far.
Yeah, it
So
was
far.
probably like.
So you guys, so now you're all together in the mess hall. What are you guys doing?
I'm eating because I just got there and I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the doctor's tale, and I'm just nodding, and I'm actually listening to what he's saying and kind of piecing together some of the lore that I just researched, just being oh, and making little mental notes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking it in now that I'm hearing more of the detail of the story.
Okay.
I'll also let the group know why I talk like this.
Oh, well, why do you talk like this? Tell the story.
Well,
I started cringing.
Like that. So you come down happy with your little ha ha ha, and when you get down there, it's and also when I found out my village was destroyed, I tried to kill myself.
Why you gotta make it sound so bad? I was trying to roleplay, Peter.
Well, no. That's literally what the story. It's horrifying to hear first thing in the morning.
Yeah, he was telling that to me because I just woke up. I was very, very happy, and the second I get down there, that's
yeah, literally.
Yeah,
That's you.
That's Ozone's face to Addison because I know I mentioned that it got real dark, and that's the face I give you when he starts telling that story. It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, a little character, Doctor.
So, I was obviously devastated, being the sole survivor of the village, and it's what was there to live for? I lived for these people, and, well, they're no longer there. And I just felt like I was a failure, and I should have been there to help them. So, well, I found some poison in one of the bartender's shops. Well, at least I thought it was. It was labeled XXX. And then I was like,
Oh my god.
I was like, I don't deserve to be a man of the cloth anymore. So I drank it. But us dwarves, we pretty much can drink anything. But it did kind of mess up my voice. Now I kind of talk like this. But that was all in the past. Now we have there's hope. There's someone other else from my village is there. We can still save them.
Well, hopefully, if they're still of the list.
What happens if they die and we fail or you fail?
Well, I was already under the assumption that they were dead, so if they're dead, then they're dead. But if they're alive, that's a great bonus, no?
Fair enough. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Ozone pats him on the back, says, "Don't worry, buddy. I think we're gonna get him back."
Me too.
Ozone cheers up a tiny bit.
Alright.
Trying to put on a brave face.
So, here comes a belligerent Brynhild with a plate full of axe-beak eggs and auroch meat, and she slams it down on the table. She's like, you guys are still here. What are you guys doing here? I thought you would have been off by now.
We missed you.
Well, I kind of wanted to go, but we really should eat first.
I was not expecting that from you, Cathixis. That was a good one. Oh, sorry if that seemed offensive. What? Brunhild?
She and I had a moment.
That's my name.
A long moment.
It certainly was long.
Well, it seemed pretty brief to me.
Oh shit. This is just like Wimbledon.
Maybe for one of your talents, Addison.
Well, since I see that, since I just came in to hear how Daergram tried to kill himself after his entire village was destroyed, and I'm in such a happy mood, I cast friends on myself.
What? On yourself? I don't think it works. I don't think that works. I have to look at this spell.
Hey, there you go.
I thought friend advantage. Oh, it's right there.
Range self.
Yeah, you cast it on yourself, and then you get advantage on a charisma check.
Okay, go on.
I cast friends on myself.
And then when the spell ends, they become hostile towards you. Lovely.
Yeah. Everyone was really mad at you.
It would only be, what's his name?
The doctor?
Yeah, the doctor. I cast friends on myself and tell him, well, in spite of that very sad story, would you like to hear this story? And I begin to regale him with the tale of Sweet Tim's and the 32 Chambers as I'm reading my book to him.
As soon as you start reading that, I get up and I leave.
We really don't have time for this. We really should be going.
Yeah, actually, I leave too. I head towards the dojo.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I go empty out my tray and my plates, and I go to books in the library.
Y'all suck.
I'm like,
The doctor is mesmerized by the tale. Well, are you gonna make a check with advantage?
Sure. But, yeah, so I continue regaling you with that story.
We talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I'm done, dude. I've said we should be going.
No, make the check.
You might be stuck
Yeah,
there.
yeah, you roll a 5 to like.
Why do I gotta roll and not the rest of you guys?
Because he was directing it specifically towards you.
Yeah, he said he was focused on you.
What am I rolling again then?
Ozone took the hint.
Well,
Addison got up.
Hold on.
You gotta roll an insight, right?
Insight.
Yeah, it's a charisma check. Usually it's against insight.
Well, it looks like you're stuck there.
yeah, so you're actually into what he's saying because he's weaving magic into the tale he's telling you.
Oh, bards.
It is filled with me casting minor illusion time and time again to have small sensory effects. You see a tiny gnome fighting off little creatures and stuff.
So, Brynhild is still there at the table and she sees all this nonsense. And she kind of slams her fist down in the middle of your illusion. She's like, oh my god! Such such frivolous nonsense when there's stuff to be done?
I mean, all right. And I book and
There's this man is telling you that he has. This man is telling you that he has people he needs to save.
He's gone.
Who?
Nomenclature walked away as soon as you did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're like, there's people, and all that happens is he's already gone, and then the doctor is now aware of the fact that he's been charmed by Nomenclature.
Yep. So, doctor, what do you do?
Roll for
Ralph.
There can only be enough room for one small person.
Inverse suicide. And attempts to suicide you.
The what now? I heard 2 people at once. Something about inverse?
Yes. He commits inverse suicide. You try to assist him in committing suicide.
but I wasn't trying to commit suicide.
Exactly, that's why he's assisting you.
He's helping you commit suicide.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm cutting back to Addison. Addison, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go back. I was jotting down notes, just like highlights and different things. So I returned the books to where they belong. The one I'm gonna hold on to the fairy tale about the Deathless.
Okay.
Is there like there's not like a librarian or anyone there, right?
No.
All right, yeah. So I returned the other books, but that one I'm gonna keep in my bag just in case.
Okay.
Just because Ganymede kind of made it sound like that one seemed like important.
Okay.
And also like just like the history of the book and just knowing that like that's like the last thing that like Quentin read when he was there. So I'm just gonna hold on to it. So
Okay.
I go return the books. After I return the books, I just pat myself down, make sure I have everything, and then I go downstairs, and I'm just gonna kind of wait around in the Great Hall for people, I guess, to like show back up, and I guess formulate like looking through like the map that I have, like the best means to get there.
Okay. So you went to the library, right? You said?
Yes.
Alright, so when you were going to the library, you know Cathixis went upstairs to the dojo to train, so you would be under the impression that he is not going to come down in his own
No, I
way.
actually didn't go to train.
Oh, what did you do?
I specifically went to the dojo so I can see if they have any short swords.
Oh, okay. So we'll say we're going up together.
Okay, cool.
We like as soon as Ozone and Cathixis saw me get up, they both did the exact same thing.
Yep.
Okay.
We're both going upstairs. I'm just gonna look at Cathixis. I'm sure you heard. We did some research. Well, I did some research last night. Are you gonna come with us to this lab?
Could be interesting.
All right. Well, I just need to drop off the rest of this reading material. I'll be down in the main hall by the entrance. So whenever you're ready, you can meet me there.
Okay, I just need to get some items first and I'll be ready.
Yeah, I nod. Got ya.
Okay, and Ozone, what are you up to?
So yeah, Ozone was gonna stick around with Addison at that point, right? Because I don't really have any pressing need in the dojo or anything.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So the three of us were walking upstairs together. Ozone heard.
Yeah.
So he goes upstairs. I drop off the books. I look at Ozone. Are you feeling all right?
Kind of had a bad night.
What happened after you left?
Nothing much. I went to sleep. I think I just had some bad dreams.
Oh,
Couldn't get a lot of sleep. I'm sure I'll feel better when we get some fresh air, mate.
Well, I mean, we are inside of a tree, so you're getting some of the freshest air you could.
Yeah, but even this place is kind of creeping in on me. You know, I'm used to like open air around me. You know, I like to feel the wind all over.
If you need to talk about it, especially since we're going to this allegedly cursed lab, just know that I'm here to listen.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll probably start feeling about it. I'm pretty sure about
Yeah, I just like look and nod. Addison kind of sees that Ozone's having kind of like difficult moments, so just trying to be a little bit here since Addison actually likes Ozone.
Okay. So, all right. So, you guys are doing that, and you're all going to meet down in the Great Hall afterwards.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that since Ozone's not really doing anything, he and Addison are just gonna both head back downstairs and kind of hang around. I'll go outside into like the open area outside of the Great Hall with him. He's actually in like an open space, so he can feel like the wind and be in like the sun, or I guess like the twilight.
Oh, that's really nice. Okay, so like take inspiration for that because I like that. That's really nice that you thought of him like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was really sweet. So Cathixis, you definitely find short swords of many different styles.
I just grab any two.
Okay, so two short swords.
Yep.
All right, you now have two short swords.
And then I just make my way out.
Okay. Nomenclature. What are you up to?
Finding everybody.
Of finding everybody. So yeah, you definitely find everybody. You probably catch up to Addison as she's coming back down the stairs.
What's up, Quinn? We're gonna wait out here. I point to like I guess like the outside like pavilion. We're just gonna wait here for everyone to I guess finish whatever preparations are collecting themselves, and then we're gonna head out. Okay.
Okay, and what about you, Daergram?
I will be casting Find Familiar.
Oh, for the 10 minutes? Yeah, that makes sense. So you're gonna cast Find Familiar?
Yep.
What familiar are you calling?
The owl.
I didn't know clerics could call familiar.
I have the Magic Initiate feat at level 4.
Oh, cool. All right, cool. Very nice. So, yeah. So, and then once your owl appears, well,
I'll meet
after
up.
the owl appears, you will have noticed that you see that most of the people you came with are exiting out the front.
Well, I obviously can't let him leave without me.
Clearly not.
I shall follow.
The bus is starting already. Like the engine started.
And just to make sure you guys have all your stuff with you.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So all your stuff is with you. Okay, good. So you head away from Moonvale to the north, and you notice that the further north you go, the denser the forest gets, and it gets much darker. It gets much darker under the canopy. While outside of the canopy, it was kind of like a sort of twilight. As you get under the canopy, it's almost night. So those of you with dark vision, you're the ones who can really see. If you don't have dark vision, you're going to have to rely on your compatriots. Does everyone here have dark vision?
Yep.
No.
I do not.
Got it.
I have perfect dark vision very, very far
Yeah,
away.
I think the only ones who don't have dark vision would probably be what was it?
It's Ozone, yeah.
Ozone. Well, okay, yeah. So Ozone, you're gonna have to rely on your friends here, because you're not gonna be able to see. What you do see, is you will see sort of little pinpricks of light flashing in and out, and you hear this sort of fey laughter that kind of drifts through the trees. Sometimes the Fey laughter seems really close. Sometimes it seems really far away. And mixed in with this laughter, you hear random words. Those of you who understand Elven can understand random words in some of this laughter and speech that you're hearing. Words that you will hear would be away, afraid, sisters.
I let the group know that I heard these words.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if I read anything in the books about anything in particular that would, I guess, try to, I guess, like charm us or beguile us or lead us astray.
Well, what I will say is that these motes of light look very similar to the motes of light that you fought previously. So you're under the impression, from what you're seeing, that these are pixies. You're under the impression that these are pixies that are kind of flitting in and out of you, but they do not seem to be bothering you at all. They don't seem to be attacking you. They are around you. They're around you to the point that you maybe feel uncomfortable, but they are not bothering you.
All right, yeah, I'll just keep pressing onward.
Mm-hmm.
I just the doctor lets everybody know, and I'll just sort of reassure them. They're nothing to worry moment.
Okay. And just give me your marching order, please.
I'll take lead.
In the middle. Mostly because I don't want to be in the back.
Yeah, I'll say I'll be in the lead with because you said you wanted to take lead, right, Doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll walk next to you because I actually have like a map, sort of like I gave you like a map, but I've kind of poured over it.
So Addison, you're in the lead. Who is the last in line?
I would be between Addison and Ozone.
So I guess Cathixis.
Because it's Daergram and Addison walking together in lead. Then Ozone, then Cathixis.
Okay, so Cathixis, what's your AC?
16 now.
Okay.
So I have a quick question, Peter, just in terms of my own awareness of my surroundings. So I can't see deep into the forest or anything, right? It's dark. But do I see at least my companions without aid? Or are they like even like shadows? Like I'm just following.
You can definitely you can definitely see that it's them around you because these pixies are somewhat casting enough light that it's almost like low light, let's say. Okay. So these pixies are say it again.
Is there any like moonlight at all in like the Darklands, or is it just dark, like no stars or anything?
There is moon, but the moon rotates around the planet. The moon revolves around the planet the same way it revolves around ours. So the way our sun indicates night and day, their moon indicates night and day. So right now,
so it's essentially so there's no moon out.
There's no moon out, so it's technically daytime.
Okay.
So Cathixis, you keep noticing that, like as you're walking, that things keep sort of brushing past you, but nothing's really happening. It's sort of like you feel a rustle in your cloak, or you feel something alight on your shoulder, and you look and there's nothing there.
In that case,
you take 4 damage.
I was about to say I cast Mage Armor, but okay.
You can definitely do that. You want to cast Mage Armor?
Yeah. As soon as I notice like stuff like brushing past me like that, I'm just gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
What is Mage? So Mage Armor is 12 plus your
3. So now I have 19 AC.
How do you have 19 AC if it's 12 plus 3?
No, my AC becomes 13, but we agreed that as a monk, I would maintain my wisdom plus my dex plus
Right,
mage
right,
armor,
right.
but I can't go over 20, so I'm at 19.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So, you just take those 4 damage, and then nothing else happens.
What?
Nothing else happens. You just keep feeling random things just brush past you, and nothing's happening. And you continue on. You continue on through the woods. And
Was that something that we would have noticed, or is that like happening? It's a personal moment.
it's just kind of these these pinpricks of light, they're kind of zooming in all around you and past you, but they're keeping a wide berth around one particular member of your group. And one of you happens to be the furthest away from that member, so 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 you're continuing through the and as you get as you continue, you start to notice that the tree line starts to sort of thin out, and this kind of the denseness of the pixies seems to be subsiding. Like there's not so many motes of floating light anymore, and as you continue even more, you notice that the motes of floating light disappear completely. As so does the tree line. The trees start to thin out, and instead of trees, you start to see these sort of gnarled obsidian structures that seem to be jutting out of the ground. Give me a nature check.
Who?
Any of you who sees this can give me a nature check.
Can Ozone see it?
Yeah, you can all see it because now it's you're back out of the tree line, so like there's nothing obscuring the night sky.
Oh, terrible.
Nah.
Hey.
Oh, and that's 20. Nice. Okay, so you know that these were trees. And some form of dark magic that you're not sure of has twisted them.
Well, is something because this is what Ganymede showed us, right?
Right.
And would I have learned anything through the books about what these actually are, or like folklore?
Well, it just the way the books describe it is that this lab, because of the extensive amount of magical experimentation, it sort of warped and corrupted the integrity of the magic around you. So the integrity of the ether, we'll say.
Okay.
And in doing so, it has warped not only nature, but how magic functions in this area, how particular magic functions in this area. And you will also give me perception checks as well.
Right here. 16.
Give me just 1 second.
23.
19.
Beautiful.
Okay, so everyone except Ozone notices a distinct difference, and this is funny that Ozone doesn't notice this, by the way, but notices a distinct difference in the feel of the air around you. The feel and the smell of the air around you. There seems to be this sort of almost sort of acrid scent that you can't put your finger on, and it gets progressively stronger as you're approaching the structure that's starting to loom in front of you. It's this sort of large, low to the ground stone building. This like low, wide stone building. And Addison, what you notice that smell as is a form of magical corruption that you read about in your books, in the books that you're reading. And what this corruption is basically the magic in the air has been so overused and so overworked that the latent magic in the area has become overreactive to the point where certain spells will function differently and other spells are just not recommended to be used at all. What you know about this particular smell that you're saying is that if you ever smell this, you probably shouldn't use any form of magic that requires heat or flame.
Okay. So once like I start smelling that, like I'll glance back to see like if the others notice it,
Mm-hmm.
and once I notice that like they're kind of privy to it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll draw my weapons, and I look because I know that Nomenclature doesn't have fire magic.
Mm-hmm.
So I look over at the doctor because have I seen the doctor use fire magic? Because you used Sacred Flame, but that's radiant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's radiant. You haven't really seen me use any kind of fire magic.
Yeah,
I don't even have fire magic.
yeah, yeah. I don't really consider it. Like I think about it and I make a mental note, but I don't tell the others just because. Oh, I look at Ozone.
Yeah, I've used Fireball.
Yeah, Ozone does have a couple of spells
I
that
look at
could potentially be fire.
yeah. I look at Ozone. Ozone. Do you smell that?
I'll take a whiff or whatever, but it's like, no. What do you mean? It's like a forest.
Well, I just want you to know that if you have, I know that you have some spells that use fire and heat.
Yeah, yeah.
I would recommend that if anything happens, not using those, please.
Cool, no problem.
Yeah.
I got a lot of kind of spells. Sometimes it doesn't really matter what I cast, but yeah, let's find out.
Okay.
Yeah, I just look like smirk a little bit because he's just so delightfully dopey.
So you go up to the door. So as you so you're walking up to the structure, and you sort of see at the front. You sort of see like around the front of it. There are these. You see these two very odd-looking creatures out front.
You said or features.
I heard
Creatures.
I heard features.
Okay.
You see these two very odd-looking creatures out front. Humanoid in shape, but that's about where the similarity ends. With most humanoids, they seem to have spines or spikes or growths running from the top of their head all the way down their back. They have 3 claws on each foot, three claws on each foot, 5 claws on each hand, and in the middle of their face is one massive green eye. And they seem to have this. Almost Joker grin plastered across their face.
Ooh.
And what happened?
Would this look familiar to the things that I saw from the telescope that were like moving really like odd?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they kind of take notice of you. They cock their head to one side, and they shriek something which Cathixis you recognize as farce speak.
Yeah, finally useful.
And they run inside. And slam the door behind them.
What did they say?
They said humans.
Oh. When I hear them say that, I just say rude. Not all of us are.
Mm-hmm.
Really, none of us are.
Was
Wow.
Addison a human?
It's the closest thing to a human.
Yep.
Well, to them you look human, and you are the first one they see, Addison.
Yeah.
So, They scream this word and they run inside and slam the door behind them. And when they do that, there's this symbol on the front of the door that kind of lights up and then goes out.
Like a glyph?
Yeah.
All right. I walk up to the door. And I'm going to, as a ritual, cast Detect Magic. So I'm just gonna stand there and like close my eyes. I still have my sword, cause we just saw those creepy fucking things shriek and do that. So I still have my weapons out, but I'm gonna like focus on the door and try to detect as to whether it's like warded with like magic.
Yes. So the door, specifically the seam of the door and the handle, light up with a bunch of color. Like the whole place, like when you open your eyes after you cast Detect Magic, the whole place seems to have threads of magic weaved through it, and you also notice that it's very difficult in this sort of environment to focus your Detect Magic because what you see is just glare and sparks everywhere.
Yeah, because I'm erratic and weird because of the history of this place.
Correct.
Gotcha.
But when you focus on this door, even though you're seeing glare and sparks around it, you can tell that there's magic placed on the door. It seems to be of the School of Enchantments.
Enchantment?
Yeah, so I just look at the others. Maybe we should find another way in.
Yeah. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Agreed.
Is this the place? Is this the lab?
Yes. This is what we saw through the telescope last night.
Yeah, it looks a little familiar. And I think I had failed my perception check from memory when I looked through there, so it's vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I guess I'll turn like left and sort of just kind of like look around. I kind of want to like walk around the perimeter of the lab.
Okay. So you walk around the perimeter of this lab. There are, from what you see, if you take a full tour around the entire expanse, there don't seem to be any other ways in. There are no windows. The windows are really slits that are high in the stone wall. This place is a place that's heavily fortified and it's meant to be able to be defended. So there's only the one way in, from what you can see.
After going around, I look at everybody. Any ideas how we can get in? This seems to be the only way in. Just so you know, this particular door seems to be fortified with enchantment magic. So, Gnomenclature, is there anything you could do to try to get in here?
I look at Raven.
Simone?
Oh, yes, sorry, I've been calling. My bad. I look at Simone and say, "Scout for me," and I send her like to just fly above it, because you walked around it, the perimeter, but you didn't get to see above it. To see if there's any way I could possibly get in from up there.
Okay, so Simone flies over the structure. There is a glass dome on top of the structure. It's made out of glass and metal. Simone however, does not see any way to be able to climb it.
How high is the wall?
Let's say 80 feet.
Okay. So
Wait, hold on. So clarification on a specific. Actually, let me just read something because I might have an idea
Wait, we're climbing walls now? What?
Might be. Let's see. 500 pounds, neither direction of the turn.
I can climb a wall.
Yeah, that's true. We already have somebody that can. But
It's true, you can.
I also have levitate, and that's why I'm just double checking if 80 feet is within my capability.
It should be.
As a spell, yeah. It's 20 feet per action, which basically means if we're not in initiative, I guess it just takes a little time.
Yeah, and it lasts for like a minute or so.
Yeah, it's actually up to 10 minutes under concentration.
Yeah, so you can just keep going up.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so if Krzysztof, if Cathixis brings up an idea there, then we'll I'll hear him out.
If we want to climb a wall, I can just climb the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, I could probably levitate up there.
Yeah, if that's like, that seems to be the only way in is to go up.
I mean, the
Land.
that is one way. The front door is still available. It just has an enchantment on it. So
Okay.
it's up to you which way you want to go in.
When Simone lands on my shoulder, I use Speak with Small Beasts to ask if there's any other way, if there's any way in from there.
Other way in? Well, she communicates to you that she says there's a glass egg on top of the building. Glass egg does not seem to be cracked in any way.
Okay, so I turn to them after they see, like, chitter and squeak and squawk at this bird, and it replies just the same. So I think there's a dome up there, but I feel like either way it's going to be just as loud. Unless any of you guys have some way to cut through glass and fit without, shattering all of it and having it rain down on whatever's inside. Know that those things are in there, so that doesn't sound like an entirely.
I'm not opposed to just fighting.
Does this door seem to have like it just has a handle? It doesn't have, does it have like a locking mechanism or anything?
It does have a locking mechanism.
Did you try the door?
I didn't touch it
Okay.
just yet.
Well, because part of their spell was me telling them that the door, specifically the handle, needs to be enchanted.
Okay.
So
Wait a second.
I'll ask Nomenclature. I'll be like, can you try the handle? You're a little bit better with enchantments.
Did the door open in or out?
the door opened out, so they ran in and they slammed the door in.
While he's, I pull out my crowbar.
Ew.
Okay.
Would this help?
Yeah. He's not being like discreet about it.
Okay, then I go, well, that's certainly one way. And I draw my rapier in one hand, and I'm gonna grab, you said there was the silver handle with the black pommel. There was the raven one. The raven one's in my boot. And the other one was a dragon's head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab the dragon's head. Actually, no, I'll grab the silver pommel. Start off simple. So I've got left hand and my rapier in my right hand.
Okay, cool.
I'll get my hammer ready, my shield, and cast guidance on myself.
And I'll just give the crowbar to whoever wants to crowbar.
Yeah, you're the one with the crowbar. Go crowbar it up.
I'm also not that strong.
I just roll my eyes and I look at you. Door handle, please, Nomenclature.
Sure, someone back me up. I sheathe my weapons and I stand there with my body right in front of the door.
Yeah, I look at the doctor. Would you mind guiding him, please?
Sure. So
Go
I
right there.
changed concentration.
the way I stand there is I stand there just an arm's reach to open the doorknob, but I'm against the wall next to. So once I open the doorknob, I'll throw it open and lean back against the wall.
Well,
and be
I just
out of
want
the
you
way.
to touch it because it's clearly locked.
I know this. And I'm trying to like breach and clear.
But you have a little.
Who's got the flashbang?
So I'm standing.
I can help.
It opens
The other, like,
the other side, so I'll be able to put the doorknob and throw it open, and then you guys will be
Okay.
standing there.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna stand there, and since Daergram's gonna assist me, he could either be in front of me.
Well, no, he's casting guidance. He's not doing anything.
I thought you had to be like touch range to cast guidance.
Yeah, he could like just do it and then walk away.
Isn't this so useful?
Yeah, he just has to touch you once and then.
Just concentrate for a minute.
Concentration lasts up to a minute, so it could be any time within this minute.
Yeah, so he just like I asked him to do that. He's like, okay. He goes, touches you, and then he's standing back with his shield and hammer.
Hammer.
Yeah, and then you go and you do it. So what happens, Peter?
Yeah, I grab the door handle and I go to turn it.
Yeah, he tries to like open it.
Give me a... Where'd it go? Wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Nice.
Which means you actually have disadvantage.
No, he has advantage because he's a gnome.
But it's actually disadvantage.
Stop it.
Oh.
Yeah, and you add the +1 from the D4 from guidance, right?
That's good. That's real good.
18 plus 4 plus the 3 from.
Oh wait, no, wait. He
So what you guys
it doesn't
see,
get a D4, by the way.
Why?
It's a ability check, not a save.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So
It's a 21.
22.
No, it's a saving throw.
Yeah, so it's a yeah, it doesn't
22, which is still good.
Okay. Okay, so what you guys see is that around around Nomenclature's head, a sort of jagged black crown starts to form, and then shatters into nothingness.
No, that was weird.
Yeah, just look at you. You're an expert on handling it.
But did the door open?
Yeah, it's just smart.
Yeah, the door opened.
Told you it wasn't locked.
Oh snap. Before we go in, I think we should do that in the next episode.
It was Peter saying it, not Addison.
No,